Previously, you've learned some core skills to successfully communicate with the audience and deliver a public speech. In this chapter, let's talk about the speech assessment by using Meng Han's presentation as one example based on the following criteria. Please look at a rubric I often use to assess an informative speech. From this form, you may tell a good speech is constructed and well-planned step by step. In other words, each section of a speech plays a different function. In introduction section, the speaker has 5 basic tasks: gaining the audience attention, showing relevance of topic to an audience, establishing credibility on a topic, introducing topic or thesis statement clearly and previewing speech body, all of them. Okay, first about gaining attention. The speaker needs to begin with a creative, original, and highly motivating attention-getting device, or we call it a hook, to prepare the audience to listen to the speech and flow well into the relevant statement. Then, the speaker will integrate the importance of a topic relevant to the audience into the speech to create a need for them to stay and listen. In the third step, the speaker needs to clearly state why he or she has the credibility and is competent to speak on the topic, or the kind of personal connection the speaker has with the topic. After these warm-up steps, in step 4, you will make a direct, concise, and clear thesis statement about the topic with powerful wording. Following the thesis statement, the speaker previews exactly and creatively what each main point will be as an opening transition. Now, please look at Meng Han's first speech draft. She used 2 rhetorical questions to grab the attention. It works, but if you look at the highlighted part of introduction, you see it's kind of too long in comparison with other parts expected to show up. Have you seen any explanation of the relevance between her topic and the audience? No. Have you heard any sentence mentioning her credibility over the topic? No. Then how come she will listen and believe in whatever she is going to say? Following the hook, she briefly introduced her general purpose or topic without mentioning her thesis statement. Therefore, that's why I say there's much space for her to improve. Do you agree with me? Okay, let's move on talking about the body section of her speech. In the body section, usually I will consider 2 dimensions in assessment: structure and supporting materials. Still remember my metaphor of a house? Structure builds up the framework, and supporting materials on the construction bricks or fitting materials among the frameworks. If you are the speaker to present a well-structured speech, check out the 4 assessment items: main points clear, organization effective, language precise, clear, powerful, and transition effective. To assess each evaluative item, you may ask yourself some questions. Look at these questions. First, about main points. Are my main points easy to identify, well integrated as a whole? Have I made them exceptionally clear with the use of internal transitions and previews, as well as signposting? Yes, first, second, third, this kind of terms. About organization, ask these questions. Do I organize appropriate quantity of the issues to meet the specific purpose of the speech? Are my sentences carefully constructed in a parallel structure with effective repetition of language or imagery? In the language item, ask these questions. Do I use language appropriately with heavy use of concrete, imaginary, vivid, familiar, and metaphorical words of a smooth rhythm? Clutter should be absent from the presentation, demonstrating clarity, accuracy, and economy of language use. About a transition, ask these questions. Do I use full sentence transitions to briefly state what was just talked about and what will now be talked about? Or do I use references to other devices, like previewing, attention grabber, these kind of things, to connect the main points? To assess if strong evidence and supporting material are provided, please check out the following 5 items. Strong evidence presented, sources well integrated, sources fully cited, reputable sources incorporated, sufficient numbers of sources cited. To assess each evaluative item, you may ask yourself these questions. Evidence. Do you add interesting and new information to the audience body of knowledge? Does your supporting material further argument and demonstrate a thorough and rich understanding of the topic? About source citation and integration. Do you orally identify external sources for evidence? Do you provide a link between the evidence and your claims? As for the sources, before you cite a source, do you mention the human author, organization, as well as the date of information, like publication years? In addition, are the references from a reputable source and fully cited? With this criteria in mind, let's look at Meng Han's speech body. She briefly mentioned the kids' age range, ownerships, teachers, educational costs, opening hours. A lot of stuff, right? But nothing unique, nothing impressive. The content lacks focus with a little supporting evidence. That's why I didn't get impressed by her speech at all. If she focused on one theme or concept, see the adventurous spirit cultivated in Danish kindergarten education concept, I think it will work much better. So therefore, for her, she should organize related supporting materials with explanatory visual aids. In general, after body section, the final section of conclusion wraps up a speech by doing 3 things. Prepare the audience for the conclusion, review the purpose and the main points, and then leave the speech with an impressive parting shot. To achieve these goals, check with the following questions. Do you make a creative statement that flows well from the body into the review and suggests you are moving into the conclusion? Do you provide links that bridge the gaps between transition and review and the review to the closing statement? Remember, it's not a restatement of the opening preview. This is the last chance for you to repeat the key points. Be creative in stating these take-home points that you expect the audience to remember. You may use a quotation, a metaphor, even an answer to a question you proposed earlier, or call for an action that are related to the topic to signal the end of the speech. Now, let's look at Meng Han's short ending sentence. That's all, thank you. Obviously, this ending does not count.